Last week, you built a meter that flags anything out of place. So a bad plan should light up, right?
Actually, no. Listen to this one. Book every hour back to back. Skip lunch. Push straight through. Your perplexity meter stays flat. Not one word of it looks strange. Load it into last week's notebook. Check the perplexity. And it'll come back great.
And that's the trap. The worst planning advice doesn't sound wrong. It sounds disciplined. Welcome to week 5, where we go after the bad advice that looks perfectly fine.
While last week's meter sails right past it. So, here's the puzzle. Last week's meter works on weirdness, a sentence that doesn't get flagged, but skip lunch and push through is a perfectly ordinary sentence.
When I first saw this, I assumed a smarter model would just know that it's bad advice. Surely with good training and good notes, it catches it.
It didn't sit right with me either until I saw what bad looks like to a model. It doesn't measure whether a plan is wise. It measures whether the words are surprising. Terrible advice in fluent, confident sentences is the least surprising thing there is.
So, the better the writing sounds, the more invisible the bad advice becomes.
Exactly. So, the meter isn't broken, it's just answering a different question than the one we actually care about.
I know someone who planned to study exam week like a champion. Every hour booked, color-coded, not a single gap. It looked like the most responsible schedule you've ever seen.
I think I know who you mean. No buffer anywhere. So, the first thing that went, overtime knocked over everything after it. By Wednesday, the whole beautiful plan was on fire.
And nothing about it looked risky on Monday. That's the kind of thing we want your model this week to catch.
The tool for it is wonderfully low tech. It's a short list of common planning traps in plain words. For example, no buffer between tasks. A goal with no first step. The myth that multitasking saves you time. We give you 8 to 10 and ask you add your own.
Welcome to week 5, build a planning pitfall filter notebook. Step 1, you're going to load the planning traps. We have 10 starter traps that have a name and cues.
Yeah. So they have not just a name and cues, but also a index, their N. So each of these can be scanned through very quickly when we run plans through the filter that uses them. So I'm going to first of all run it, and it's just going to list them out here, and it runs near instantly, boop. And then let's run the samples. I'm not even going to look at the samples that we've drafted. So plan A was flagged, and plan B looks all clear. Now, why is that?
Well, plan A, if you read it, it's not the healthiest of plans.
In what way?
It's telling people to study from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. straight through with no breaks. There's 4 traps that got caught.
Multitasking myth, planning fallacy, no breaks. So, long story short, we cycle through the plans and we cycle through the traps looking for things that'll trip you up. So, let's move on to adding a trap of your own.
Okay, so I was already starting to add one called Work Too Fast. I changed it so it was no break, less than 5 minutes, and go faster. Maybe I'll add another one for fun. No time
Uh-oh.
What's wrong?
You left out something.
You're right, I forgot my quotes. Thank you. No time to eat or...
Okay.
Okay.
Now, we have a test example that will be tested directly against with this. And then we actually have some helper code that is here to make sure that you format things properly before we actually do the testing. So let's give that a go. Ooh.
Your trap worked too fast, didn't catch your example yet. No worries. Tip, one of your cue phrases has to appear word for word in my example. So that's not a problem, it's just saying that my example
isn't flagged by that trap.
Yeah. I'm going to stay up all night and so I can go faster and finish it sooner.
Beautiful.
Oops, I put two periods there. Now let's run the tests. Your trap worked too fast, caught your example. Nice work.
So it's important that these traps right now are being caught word for your cues. This is not the same as the more advanced knowledge base vector lookup. So after you've finished this, go on to your time travel lessons. I'll be in chapter 6, and also we'll have a subsequent video about that.
Notice what it's not doing. It's not deciding for anyone. It's just raising your hand and saying, hey, human, look at this. That's the whole idea. All summer. Keep the person in the loop.
This week's task, add a trap of your own. Your task, due Friday, run a few plans through the filter. Then add one new trap of your own, in your own words, and check if it catches a fresh example. Due Friday, your new trap, and a plan it catches.
Send us the trap you added and one plan it flagged. The notebook runs in just a few minutes. Writing the trap is the real work, and it's the creative fun part.
Time travel, version control. If you'd like to turn yours into a proper one, we'll walk you through it together in week 6.
No pressure at all. But if contributing to a real open source AI project as a teenager sounds good to you, this is your way in, and version control is the key you just picked up.
And next week is the one I think you'll remember most. You give your model a name and pull everything together. Its memory, this filter, into one own agent. Touch base Friday.
Bye!